to encourage women to embrace themselves, and if I'm going to preach it, I should also live it, so I'm going to do something I've never done before. Hello friends, Lindsay with Lindsay Blooms, and today I'm doing something a little different that I have never ever done before. I'll kind of start from the beginning. So a week ago, I went to my gym, the CrossFit gym that I go to, and I don't know what happened. I felt fine when I did the workout, but the next day just could not really move this arm at all. Not even like pick up a coffee, trying to pull up my pants, like ever. It just hurts. It still hurts. So because of that, I've not been working out, and that has freed up. My gym is kind of far away from my house. So not only am I not going to work out, but I'm not driving there and back. I've had some extra free time, and in that free time, I have been singing because I love singing. I have been singing since I could. There are home videos of me performing for my family and singing into play microphones. If you asked me when I was 5 years old what I wanted to be when I grew up, I told you I wanted to be a country singer. And I remember I've always been a loner. I didn't do what other kids wanted to do. I just was fine being by myself. So when I got home from school, I had a Walkman and access to my parents' cassette tapes. My dad had built us a rope swing in the backyard. I would turn on my Walkman and sing for hours. I would stick the cassette tape in, listen to the whole side A, take it out, flip it over, whole side B, and I would do this over and over. And I was singing Michael Bolton and Juice Newton, Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Bryan Adams, like all kinds of 90s music that I was singing because I liked it. And I would just practice over and over and over. And I can't tell you what or why. I think it was more just a chipping away for various reasons at my self-confidence that I stopped singing where anybody could hear me. When I was in high school, I would sing in the car or in my room in privacy, but I actually had a boyfriend early on in high school who, it was a thing. Like, he was very hurt and offended that I wouldn't sing in front of him. But I was terrified. I was afraid that he would think I did not sing well and then break up with me. But what it ended up happening is I didn't show him my real self, and he ended up breaking up with me. So there was more to it than that. He didn't break up with me because of that. Before he would try to track this guy down, there was more to it. But all of this is going through my head because a few days ago, I'm in my shower and I am belting out a song that I am completely obsessed with right now by a band called Young Oceans. Pandora just randomly played this song for me a few weeks ago, and I can't stop listening to this song or this band. So the song is called Great Is Our God, and I was just singing so loud. The only person who could hear me was my 3-year-old daughter, and she doesn't know good singing versus bad singing, I guess. And I was thinking, I have spent almost my entire life shrinking myself, hiding myself, assuming that I knew what people wanted or expected of me. And this just put me in a box. I've lived in a prison of my own making for a really long time. Every time something happened that was uncomfortable, somebody said something, no matter the intent, their intent could have been not at all to hurt me, but what I added meaning to the back end of what they were saying, and then created rules for myself. And then these rules just stacked up and stacked up and stacked up to where I'm just stuck in this prison cell, not being who I am, being a yes person, constantly agreeing with everybody that was around me because I didn't want to upset anybody or offend anybody, or I didn't want to, it wasn't that, it was just I didn't want to have to deal with it, you know? Like, it's easier to just be like, yeah, and move on than to say, not sure I agree with you on that. And my word for 2020, the year that I'm making this video, is bold. Because I don't know that I have ever exhibited that word in my entire life. Unfortunately. I have been peaceful, Lindsay. Don't get in the way, Lindsay. She'll do anything you ask of her, Lindsay. But I don't think anyone would ever describe me as bold. And so I'm doing things differently this year, and I am doing things that scare me. So I'm going to sing, and then I'm going to post it. I'm going to post this video for the world and my 30 followers. I actually don't know how many people lurk and look at my content, but that's why I'm doing this, because there are people in this world that I admire. One of them, if you've watched anything of me, you know that I love Blue October, the band Blue October, and their singer is Justin Furstenfeld. He has, like, I could listen to him sing all day, every day, forever and ever, and I would never get tired of hearing his voice. But I admire him because of his talent, because he owned it, and he's lived through some really hard things in his life. Didn't stop him, you know, drug addiction, divorce, all kinds of things that were happening with his record label, and didn't let it stop him from being who God created him to be. And his message now, his music is getting better, so much better, that God came into his life, and he has so much joy, and he's just living who he is, and it's just beautiful to see him now and compare him to who he was. And so and that is my goal. So now, that being said, baby steps, because I still don't feel like I could actually sing in front of somebody, and so I wasn't able to show my face. I just I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm sorry. Maybe one day, maybe next year, I'll be in a place where I can sing openly with my mouth wide open and all of that and be okay with that. But right now, you'll be able to hear my voice. And this is something I've never done in my entire life. But I'm doing it to prove a point that there's only one me and there's only one you. And nobody else ever can be you. So it doesn't matter if somebody else is doing the same thing you're doing, or they're interested in the same thing that you're interested in, or they're selling the same thing that you're selling. They're not going to be able to do it like you. And this is very important. We live in a world where we feel like we're always competing with everybody else around us, and our resources are scarce, and I've just found that to be a lie that we've all been fed. And as we learn to be who we really are, the things that align with who we really are find their way to us, things and people, and it's beautiful. Life doesn't have to be such a grind. And the only thing I'm upset about is that it took me this long to figure that out. So anyway, please enjoy this short excerpt from the song Great Is Our God by Young Oceans, as performed by me, Lindsay. And I've never had any training or anything. I'm doing this purely out of a challenge to myself to put something out there that terrifies me, that's scary. Let's do it. And we will seek him, our rock of salvation. Morning by morning, with thanksgiving we come, and we will bow down. With creation we cry out. In daylight and darkness, our God. Great is our God. Great is our God. So thank you for watching all the way through. I hope that if anything, this has inspired you to look at the ways that maybe you have been selling yourself short, shrinking yourself, trying to conform to things that you feel like people expect of you. Be who you are, joyfully, unashamedly, unapologetically. Be who you are today and tomorrow and every day after. Okay, love you guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.